Well, on a day when Australia has had so much success with the ball in hand, who else do you want to talk to but one of the best, Mitchell Johnson? It's been such a turnaround from yesterday, and that all really started with Australia's team as they all did well. But I think Josh Hazelwood was particularly incisive and threatening this morning, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things in the game where you just never know what's going to happen. And I woke up this morning and opened the curtains and went, wow, the sun is really bright today. It would have been nice to have that overcast conditions that England had yesterday, but they came out here. They're very professional in what they do, because you could sort of feel it around the place that everyone was riding that wave of England and they were up and about. And then today, Josh Hazelwood was absolutely outstanding. I think all the bowlers bowled extremely well. Cummins was aggressive again, but Hazelwood stood out because, I mean, he got a fifer.
Yeah.
So that was, great for him, great for the team. Gives him a lot of confidence now because he wasn't playing in this Test series at the start. So to be able to leave someone out of the first match and then to come in and do what he's done at Lords, I thought he bowled well there. And he's just improved again here. It's his second time, I think, in these conditions, in England conditions. And well, I just know from the first time that he played here in 2015 that he probably wasn't quite on song. But it was a really good learning curve for him at that time, because he was able to learn that, okay, maybe I need to get him the ball a little bit fuller here, use my bouncer smart, but just let the pitch do its work, let the ball do the work. And they did it so well today. He was just outstanding. It was great to watch.
He was, but it also perhaps has to be noted that Joe Root got a very, very good ball.
Yep.
But there were some shots, very questionable shots, that caused the wickets of England's batters.
Yeah, I mean, there were some questionable ones there. Definitely they chased after a couple that they probably should have just, learned to let the ball go and be disciplined. Like Labuschagne today, Marnus again just played a great Test innings. I think from a batting point of view of England, they probably just panicked a little bit. There are a few guys in that team that look a little bit tired after a massive World Cup stint, and probably a massive 4 years in the making, really, for their World Cup title that they were going for. So that's been talked about a lot, whether they're just a bit hungover from the World Cup and not feeling quite right in Test match cricket. So there's all those factors that come into it, the pressure of the game. They probably thought they were coming into today going, okay, well, the sun's out, the pitch is looking pretty good, it's going to be a long day for us to bat. And then all of a sudden, 27 overs later, they're back out there. And no rest for the bowlers. That's got to dent your confidence as a bowling unit and as a fielding unit. I think you sort of look at a couple of the things that have happened. I guess Archer's come off the field with cramp, and that question marks the way that he's bowled throughout this series already. So
you've spoken about that too, the management of Archer. Is that a
Exactly.
danger sign in seeing him come off like that?
Well, you could see that they were smiling and it was cramp, so that sort of made you think, okay, it was quite hot today and they didn't have much of a break. Does that play into it a bit as well? I think so. He has bowled a lot.
Yeah.
And I just think the management has been not so good. They've been really reliant on him. And I guess you have a look at what Ben Stokes did today. He had a 4-ball break.
Yeah.
And then he was back on bowling. And I don't know how many he bowled straight. He bowled a lot there in the afternoon. But I guess for me, it's seeing Ben Stokes bowl today, that's what you do as a bowler. That's what you want as a cricketer. You want the ball in your hand if you're a bowler. He's an all-rounder, but he does bowl fast as well. He stood up today and went, okay, well, I'm not going to let Australia just bat. I want to get these guys out. I don't want the total to be too big. We're still in this game. He had that determination. You could see it. He rushed a lot of batsmen up. He made them play and miss at balls that they looked like they were more comfortable with throughout this innings, second innings. So it was good to see by him. It just goes to show that he's up for the fight.
I mean, when you talk about the still being in the game, do you see England as still being in this game now?
Oh, of course they are. I mean, day 3 tomorrow is the pitch should be playing fairly well. you would think.
We thought that this morning.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's probably not going to move around as much with a newer ball. The only thing is spin will probably come into it a little bit more. So Nathan Lyon will come into the game. I think that's probably why batting was a good thing, even though they didn't win the toss, Australia. But the pitch was looking a little drier. It had a lot of cracks, and we're seeing some of the rough areas that have not opened up, but they've definitely been formed out there. So Leach today getting one to go through. I know Nathan Lyon is a right-hander, but one to spin, one to go straight. So it brings him into the game later on. So anything can happen in this game. You can never, ever ride the wave too much, I feel. You have to stay balanced, and that's what Australia did today. They stayed balanced in their mind, and in their performance, they showed that today. And
amazing to think that Mitchell Starc still hasn't played a role in the Ashes yet. Well, just on England, do you think Ashes series do tend to have a big effect on people's careers when they lose? If England lose this series at home within 3 tests, do you see some changes coming?
Well, there's got to be question marks on a few of their batters. I think Joe Root's just a huge question mark for me as a captain. Don't think his record is that great against Australia in Ashes series so far. I don't know, the past 12 months, I think, actually this year for England, I think they've been bowled out for under 100 on those 4 occasions has been pretty ordinary. So, yeah, I think question marks will be there for Joe Root and his captaincy. He looks tired. He looks stressed. It looks like there's something on his mind every time. You can't escape it when you're the captain. And I just saw his shoulders slumping today in the field. He sort of had a couple of misfields, a drop catch. He's just not really thinking about. Well, he's thinking about probably too much. Yeah. I think that's the problem. And he's got so much on his mind. And when you're the captain, you've got so much going on. You've got to assess the conditions. They bowled first. They bowled well at times, but they really could have had Australia out early, a lot cheaper. They didn't bat well, so they'll go back and assess that now. It's just that's why bowlers could never be captains. There's just too much going on.
Yeah, well,
I would have struggled big time for sure.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if they do look at the captaincy, who they do bring in, because that would be a very difficult one as well. Of course, we are only at day 2. Who'd have thought that? But we will be back on day 3. Who knows if beyond? So make sure you stay logged on to ESPN Cricinfo.